As is the case with most mental issues residing within the brain, the struggles generated by the multiple daily shocks of extreme panic attacks, generated by social interactions, were not readily visible to those around me, regardless of what others could not see. The multiple extreme daily shocks were very real and caused me to seek relief through the process of entering the void, of being surrounded by the nothingness. After entering the silence daily for decades, the process of entering and exiting a true state of silence became a form of reflex reaction. But why speak so much of my personal journey into the silence in this topic, topic 6, from whence it came? It is important to address my personal journey as to why I sought out the void, the silence, so frequently, in order for you and members of the Gurdjieff Society viewing these presentations to understand how it is I became a man number 4, H1. It was only by taking refuge within the silence that I found my true ego, released my true ego from the suppression of the thousands of physical, emotional, and mental egos vying for my attention. It was only by entering the nothingness, entering a true state of silence thousands and thousands of times, that it occurred to me the silence was not just a location of nothingness, a location where I was able to escape my extreme panic attacks, racking my mental, internal consciousness. But the silence, the void, the nothingness, was actually embracing me, my true self. This realization that I was there in the silence, that it was myself that was being wrapped in the cloak of nothingness, was like turning on a light. It was a revelation so simple, so ludicrously simple, it was almost laughable. It was, in fact, an epiphany and changed my life. At the moment of my realizing that it was me experiencing the peace of the silence, realizing it was me observing the silence, that I became what the Gurdjieff members call a man number 4, for I had found my true self. I had found my true ethereal self, my ethereal ego, my I, as they say in the Gurdjieff Society. As Gurdjieff says, becoming a man number 4 is not the end of the journey, but rather becoming a man number 4 is just the beginning, is the state of reaching the top of the stairs, is just the first step in walking the path of one's true journey as to why it is one has entered World 1, entered the physical universe. And so it was my journey was to lead to my becoming not just a man number 4, but a man number 4H1. But what does it mean to become a man number 4H1? This is what we shall explore in the remainder of the topic 6 from whence it came. For it means to be what it means to be a man number 4, a man H1, is what adds to the validity of what it is I've been given by the ethereal to give to those journeying the physical. Becoming a level 4 does not automatically lead to one becoming an H1. There are many paths that men number 4 take as they journey through the physical cosmos. But all level 4s have found the means of allowing their true selves to become a conscious part of their physical machines. All level 4s leave the silence and return to the physical as a level 4, forever a level 4, knowing their true self, being their true self. A myth exists that a level 4 individual, being a level 4, a number 4, has complete control over their physical egos and its thousands of subsidiary sub-egos, complete control over their emotional egos and its thousands of subsidiary sub-egos, and in complete control of their mental ego and its thousands of subsidiary sub-egos. Such a perception is nothing but a myth. A level 4 is not always in control. A level 4 simply adds an upper level of consciousness, adds knowing to its thousands of egos and their influence upon the machine the number 4 man occupies. There are as many levels of level 4s as there are levels of levels 1, levels 2, levels 3. A man number 4 adds, however, a level of knowing, adds a higher form of consciousness to the physical machine's journey. And so it was. My journey of traveling with 4 egos began. The 4 egos, the physical, the emotional, the mental, and now the ethereal, knowing ego. Man number 4 has found the means of allowing their true selves to become a knowing part of their physical machines. A man number 4 leaves the silence and returns to the physical as a man number 4, knowing forever their true self, knowing forever their ethereal self. A man number 4 adds this level of knowing to the individual previously asleep, previously controlled by the physical, emotional, and mental, previously a confused slave. A man number 4 adds the true self, the soul, the spirit of the individual to the equation of living and introduces the product of waking up to life. Such individuals have reached a level of potentially becoming an obedient servant, as to being simply a machine reacting to the myriad forms of input with which the physical constantly blankets the spiritual aspect of the individual. Diagram 6:16 demonstrates a man number 4, demonstrates where the man number 4's ethereal self becomes an ever-present aspect of life without the need of experiencing extensive silence. The circle with a dotted line represents a state of existence which is not characteristic of the region which in it is immersed. For example, one's true self is not composed of silence, nor is one's true self physical in nature. One's true self is composed of what one might say is a finer energy, yet it is not a form of energy. In the realm of the physical, a dotted line represents an existence which is not physical in nature, not composed of matter, not affected by time and space. The track line represents communication through thought transference. Man number 4 never leaves himself cut off from the silence. He forever enters the silence, looking for direction, knowing he will find direction in life. Individuals number 4 experience different motivations and directions to take in the physical existence. My direction, my quest never changed. My quest had always been to find how God, the all-knowing, the eternally unchanging, related and interacted with the physical universe and the individual. Eventually, while standing in the silence, my ethereal self was joined by an ethereal emissary, an ethereal spirit guide. No thought communication transpired between us. There was only simple observation that occurred between the ethereal self of myself and the ethereal emissary. At the time of my being visited by this ethereal existence, I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea this existence, which I could not see and I could not hear, but whose presence I felt off in the distance. I had no idea that this was going to be an ethereal emissary, a spirit guide, for there were no thought communications transpiring. There was simply observation occurring between my ethereal self and the ethereal emissary. There was simply the process of my looking and observing that ethereal existence and knowing that it too was looking and examining myself. It has been said by some that the point of finding one's higher level, of finding one's true self, has nothing to do with a psychic experience, but is not the point of striving to attain a higher level of self-knowing than that of a thinker, than that of a man number 3, than that of the physical machine. By definition, a search for a psychic experience. Figure 617 demonstrates that it would appear the term psychic experience applies to individuals number 4, just as it does to individuals number 1, 2, and 3. While it is true that the point of the fourth way is not to have a psychic experience, there is no denying the fact that those who do reach level 4, who do attain the ability to allow their true self, their spiritual self, to come through, have as much a potential, or perhaps even a greater potential, of having a psychic experience than do the individuals number 1, 2, and 3. The psychic experience of individuals 1, 2, and 3 is no less real than the psychic experience of individuals number 4. There is, however, a difference in the level 4's psychic experience as compared to the psychic experience of individuals number 1, 2, and 3. The individual's 1, 2, and 3 psychic experience has the characteristic of happening as do the physical, emotional, and mental experiences which inundate the individual's 1, 2, and 3. The individual's 1, 2, and 3 psychic experience happens to the individual. The individuals do not question, they just let it happen to them. They become the slave to the events as opposed to individuals number 4 becoming the obedient servant of the event. Becoming the obedient servant willingly, through understanding, and through choice. In part 3 of topic 6, from whence it came, we will deal with the concept of a man number 4 becoming an H1, and we will deal with the deceiver, man number H2.